Oh, hey. This is awkward, but I kind of forgot what I was supposed to be reviewing this week.
Remember.
I can't. That's the problem.
No, remember the movie.
I remember that I'm supposed to be reviewing a movie, but I don't remember what it was.
No, you're supposed to be reviewing Remember.
That's what I just said. I remember I'm supposed to be reviewing a movie. I just can't remember what it was.
You just said the title twice.
Review?
No!
Calm down, Uncle Bob. I'm just messing with you. This week I'm looking at Remember. Is it worth watching? Find out in this week's Indy Christian review. So, I love science fiction, and I know longtime viewers of the show are going no duh right about now. When it comes to Christian movies, sci-fi is probably the least represented genre. I mean, there's more effort going into making Christian horror movies than there is making good sci-fi. The closest thing we've got to sci-fi in the Christian movie world is end times movies, which if you know me, you know how I feel about that. But that's why I was so excited to see Remember. It's sci-fi with no end times elements, though it does take place in a dystopian near future. It's the year 2050. There's been an economic and population collapse, and the government has stepped in to bring order and regulate pretty much everything. Marriages are arranged by the state, given a 3-child limit, and then the children are taken away and raised by the government at birth. But because this proves to be so traumatic for the parents, all citizens are forced to take memory-blocking drugs to suppress the pain of having their children ripped away from them. Captain Carl Onaway is an officer for the Child Protection Agency, and is in charge of finding and suppressing anyone who tries to find their children and take them back from the government. He's struggling with depression after having to kill his old partner after that man switched sides and tried to take his kids away to safety. This causes Carl's doctor to give him stronger doses of the memory-blocking drug, but suddenly Carl starts having visions of a mysterious figure telling him to start remembering things.
Remember who you are.
As Carl starts to remember snippets of his past and see passages in a mysterious book about turning the hearts of fathers back to their children, he begins to have a change of heart and starts secretly working from the inside to reunite families with their children to help them find safety in the wilderness outside the government's control. But then things get interesting when he starts investigating the disappearances of the children and can't remember that he's the one responsible. There's a very strong message of the importance of family in this movie. It also paints a very frightening picture of what the future could look like if the government really did go to the extreme in population control. But at the same time, there's a very strong message of hope that as long as you have access to nanotech toothpaste, you'll be able to get out of any situation and conduct your government overthrowing operation successfully. Okay, maybe not that last part so much. All kidding aside, Remember is a very good movie that has a lot of good intrigue and suspense, especially towards the climax. The beginning does feel a bit heavy-handed, though, as far as introducing us to the world of the story. The opening montage was very creative in giving us the history lesson, but then the ideologies of the government are given to us via exposition by a classroom of kids reciting the 3 pillars of their society. To me, it felt like the filmmakers were forcing us to accept the plausibility of the scenario they put us in. But once I got past the exposition and accepted that this was the world I was going to be in for the next hour and a half, I still found this story very enjoyable. If the story does have any shortcomings, I'd say that the message is hammered home a little too strongly. The movie really could have benefited from a more subtle approach in establishing what was at stake and showing us how Carl's eyes were open to the truth. On the technical side of things, the acting by the leads is solid and the cinematography was very nice. And the visual effects, while obviously CGI, were very creative, especially in showing futuristic technology that really felt like a descendant of what we have today. So as one of the few non-end times Christian sci-fi movies out there, it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. And that's all the time we have. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Doctor? Storyteller, could you call the others together, please? There's something we need to talk about. Sure. Ever since the battle with Genocron, I've been keeping an eye on the Storyteller. And the more I've watched, the more I've realized that not everything is as it seems here. Please tell me I'm not the only one who's noticed that we all look exactly alike. What are you talking about? We don't wear glasses or have a funny looking nose.
Hey!
Hey, someone had to say it. No, look closer. Underneath a few minor cosmetic differences and goofy hats, we all look exactly like the storyteller. So I'm only going to ask you this once. What are we? Are we just characters from your story's past that come to life, but like Genocron? Don't you remember? I have memories. I have a past, but everything's foggy beyond when I first regenerated into this face. I know it's there, but I can't reach it. What about you lot? Do you have any memories of before you met him?
Well, actually, I can't remember.
Me neither. I can't remember anything from before I started doing my show. Why can't I remember? Why haven't I realized this before now?
Come on, kid, calm down. It ain't all that bad. You get used to it after a while.
That is true. We're all just your characters. None of us are real. You're real enough to me. No, guys. Farewell, storyteller.
You probably should have told him a lot sooner. I'll see you around, kid.